Hi friends, it's Allison. Welcome back to AJ's Inspired Life. I'm going to do a voiceover today. I know I don't usually do these. Some people like them and some people don't. So hang out with me for a little bit and let's get some journaling done and we'll talk about kind of what's happening. So this is my September Creative Daily Journal. I'm working in an altered comp book. It's a small one, which I really like. Because I don't have a lot going on in my days necessarily. And so the small size is working. The small size is working. But I did think maybe I would edit out some of the things that take a while, right? And so I thought I'd maybe try a voiceover for you guys. So we are working on, obviously, the 10th. And if you are not familiar with my challenge to myself, I have an item of the month challenge, and the item of the month right now is words. So I'm trying to include words on my journal, not necessarily that I wrote, but like these, like stickers, things I've cut out of magazines, stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure out kind of like what I need for this page. So I do some looking around, and as always, when I go through stickers or any ephemera really, I tend to like see other things I need. Like, oh, I know that would go for a different day or whatever. So oftentimes you'll see me pull them and kind of put them off to the side because I know that will go on the next day or like a day coming up. And so I think that's what I'm doing right now. But that that paper you see in the background, I also wanted to talk this day about when we don't have anything to journal. I know a lot of times, you know, in comments or when we're just talking or chatting, it's like, gosh, nothing happened today. I don't have anything to write in my journal. And so I wanted to just kind of note, I guess, ways that I kind of keep track, if you will. One of the ways is those little stickies you see. So I will take notes throughout my day. I would love to say I do it on my phone because that would be the logical thing to do, but I don't. Although sometimes in the car, I will ask Siri to add a note, a journal note, and it goes onto a little notepad of things I wanted to remember. But for the most part, I just write them down in my planner. And I don't take detailed notes necessarily, but I'll make a little note just about something, and it'll be enough to kind of trigger me to put it on the sticky when I come down. So that's one of the ways I do it. The other thing is obviously collecting ephemera from the day. So in that very, well, it's kind of falling off of the journal right now on the left-hand side. You can see a little piece of a Band-Aid wrapper. That is nothing. That is not journal worthy. But it is part of what my day was about. And so I have a cut on my finger, or I had a cut on my finger, and I definitely needed a Band-Aid. And so I don't know, like a Band-Aid wrapper, I can't even remember if it makes the page or not, but I wanted to just note it because just little things like that, right? Little things like a Band-Aid would spark a memory and you could put it in your journal. Like, oh, you accidentally got a paper cut, but what were you doing when you got the paper cut, or where were you, or, you know, that sort of thing. So here I am looking through, there's my planner. You can see I just pulled it to kind of look at something. This is my word drawer. These are magazine, most of them are magazine words, right? And so they're kind of separated by size. I've been getting this out almost every time I journal now. And so I'm sure some of you, if it's not your first time here, have seen it. So I've kind of moved it so you can kind of go through it with me. And I guess at some point I'd like to maybe go through this, and you can see I'm flipping a lot of them over. So I must have like gotten them out and had them facing all the other direction. I don't know. The whole point of the item of the month challenge is to challenge me to use my stash and to use my supplies, but to reach for things that I don't necessarily reach for. Now, when I cut words out of magazines, I don't necessarily, I mean, I guess I do think about my journal, but I often pull them like for a vision board or for art journaling, right? A lot of times I put those on my art journaling pages. And so I'm trying to think about things differently. And one of the ways to do that is to kind of challenge myself to use it sequential days in a row, right? If we want to start a new habit, right? they say 28 days or something. So we want to try, and it's kind of hard. Honestly, the words are not, I don't, well, one, I don't have a great sense of what words I even have in here. And I'm not looking for a certain word. If you guys have ideas on how you organize words, I mean, I guess if I knew what word I wanted, I guess I could put them in alphabetical order, but like this one would obviously go in a quote box, right? Like some of these are quotes. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on the words. I'm just trying to kind of go through it. I purposely left this in, even though this video is sped up. You can see the amount of, little shout out to Tom there. You can see the amount of time, it might take to kind of go through some of this stuff. And so that's the other thing that stops me sometimes from reaching for things, is that it might take too much time. And some of my pages I spend more time on, and some of my pages I would just like to be done with, right? And so just kind of figuring out a flow. I'm also getting used to really my new old, back at it workflow, if you will, of working full time every day and getting home at whatever time. And I've known, for a bit, nighttime's not my best time to actually create. I love, I guess, coming down. Nighttime's a great time for me to do some journaling. I often come in and fill in my journal at night. It's not necessarily where I feel my best in terms of just like creative energy. And you may or may not be like that, or know what time of day is best for you. So anyway, so nighttime is a little bit harder for me. So I might be struggling with it a little bit also, because I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point. Like, I can't remember if I'm looking for a certain word. I love this little tiny box, but it's very small. And I love it because it's small and it fits in that corner, but like it's tiny. You can see I'm kind of like putting my finger in there trying to get those words out. And again, I might come back and kind of reorganize this drawer a little bit, but we'll see. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I have some, like that particular, like those actually could go in a different drawer. I have a whole drawer of like mental wellness little quote things cut out. So that technically could go in another drawer. I've talked about this before too. I tend to almost over organize at times. And so like I have a drawer for mental wellness quotes, and I have a different drawer for other magazine stuff. And I mean, maybe they could all go together. I don't know. But you saw me find a trip to California or something like that, and I actually had two, so I already had one on the page. This page, underneath it, that yellow paper, I did want to share with you. I found it at Dollar Tree. I've been going to Dollar Tree, like if I see one on the way home. Ours is just crummy. Like, it's just not a good one. The one that's like closest to our house on my way home from work, it's just not a good one. And we don't have them everywhere like we did in California. So I'm going there and I'm looking for specific things for work, but I just can't find it. But I did find that one little journal, and I really like that yellow striped paper. It was a little bit different. Do I need a whole notebook of it? Probably not. So we'll see. Yeah, so you can see on my little sticky note there, I have walkie-talkie, I have debate, Dollar Tree, called on tires, and paid bills and work. I mean, like that was my day. Do I need to make a note that I called on my tires? No. But I did write it down because that was something like on my to-do list that absolutely needs to get done. And so whether or not it makes the journal or not, I don't know, but it's on that sticky, right? That exclamation mark is obviously words, and right there it's words, get it done. So that will obviously be talking about bills. And then I found some more words right there, and it says, here we go. So that part of that page right there, I'm going to kind of I guess, save space for, I might actually do the writing in this one because I knew I was doing a voiceover. I actually can't remember. We'll see when we get there. I have a little bit of space, so I'm going to look for kind of a cutout, like a printable, to kind of use. Because look at all the amazing fun printables I have. Absolutely love them. This whole bucket, I think, is from Pam. I might have combined some, but oh, those were Jelly Bean Studio. Yeah, they're a little mixed up, but oh my gosh, look at them. They're so yummy. That's only one bucket. I have 3 buckets. That's why I had to discontinue like my subscriptions to things because I just had too much and I was not using them. So I'm trying to use them. That's the part of the challenge. And one of the challenges coming up for Item of the Month is printables. But that doesn't mean I can't use them this month, obviously. So I'm just trying to look. And again, I'm not looking for a specific thing. I don't know what I'm looking for. It's not that I can't find what I'm looking for. I just don't know what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for something that kind of would note what I want to write on the page, I guess, or something, about the day. And so I'm just kind of looking through these to, and there it is. There's one. And so now I've pulled 2. There's some words, and there's another journal one. So again, I do the same thing with these. If, even if I'm working on one page, I'm usually not current, let's be honest. And so I already know, like, oh, this would apply to a different day, or this would, and I pull them all at the same time. So what does that one say? Paid the bills, went to bed early, something like that. Headache. And so I think I'm going to cut. Yeah. I end up pretty sure using that one. Okay. And then that little journal cat. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. I have to use that one. And then I need to make see that one. Oh my gosh, look at that picture, you guys. Is it not perfect? If that is not me watching TV that night. Oh my gosh. I could, and I knew that when I got home, like I couldn't watch it. So my husband was watching it, and our like dining room kind of overlooks our living room, if you will. So he was watching the debate in the living room, and I was up in the dining room. I brought my laptop out there. And was like paying bills and doing stuff. So I could hear it, and I can hear him, and we could still conversate, if you will, but I can't. Well, look, in fairness, I rarely sit down in front of the TV, even for a movie, without doing something. I often have journaling, stickers, magazines. I often have something that I'm doing, even when we're watching a show. So, that's part of it. The other part of it was I just, I couldn't just watch it. And so I was in the other room, kind of, like I said, chit-chatting and conversating. And so, and this is not to speak on it at all. It was just my experience watching it. So you have your experience, and I have mine, and we can all still, love each other and respect each other and all that kind of stuff. So here you see I am trying to use some letters out of my letter basket. And I don't know if you saw that real quickly. See that P? I'm flipping it over and I'm using it as a D. So I want to just note that I'm going to spell out debate here. And again, just trying to use letters. I know we talk about this a lot in the journaling community, and there's always leftover letters and how to use them and what to do. And I've definitely kind of inked over some and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, some of those letters work as other letters. So, go with that. So I'm going to try and pull out another thing of letters here. And gosh, you guys, these must be so old. I mean, they're K & Company. They came in a scrapbooking kit. So I'm going to just put their bills right next to the get it done. And so spelling out that crooked as it is. But yeah, so I'm just looking at my sticky and trying to, figure out. So I kind of have things on my page there. And now I'm going to look at that word sheet again. It has emotions. I can't. Yeah, it says my feelings or something. All the emotions. And so some of these, yeah, I'm just putting like over it, annoyed, anxious, frazzled, and ugh is what I end up with. And that's just like my overall experience that day with that whole situation. And so I wanted to document it. Now, I don't have to document necessarily anything else, but I will. But even if I were just leaving the picture and kind of those words, it would probably say enough. But that little face is obviously a tip in, and so I will go ahead and add some journaling underneath it. And I really like how that yellow paper turned out. Okay, there's that Band-Aid that I was talking about earlier, and I'm not. Yeah. So I'm just like consciously trying to use it. I know just because we spoke of it and whatnot, and I'm going to make like a little fake tab, if you will, and I'm just going to tuck it on there on that little card to like make it look like it's a pull tab, right? Just to note, like it's just a little piece of my day again, and I really enjoy doing that. I would never remember that I needed like a Band-Aid on my finger. Obviously, it wasn't a bad cut by any means. And so a little piece, just a little piece of something from the day, it brings back that memory, and I can now, kind of journal it or whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's fun when we can use different things from our day. I'm just going to go ahead and use some colors and highlight and get around that debate and kind of color it in. As always, right, with the white paper, I want some more color. And with the colored paper, I want a plain journaling spot on it. So just adding in some color there with, what is that, a zig marker, which I've had forever. Those zig markers, you guys, oh my gosh, scrapbooking days. I've had them forever. All right, so that's all I'm going to do on that page. The next day is obviously the 11th, and then there's some more words, right? There, you just saw me take those out of my word drawer. And so I'm gonna see if I can make it fit for this day. So the next day is September 11th. It's a day in our country that we now call Patriot Day, and it's not necessarily a like national holiday or anything like that, but it's definitely a day that we spend and often do things, in tribute or in memory of the events that happen. And so, yeah, so I want to try and figure that out. Now, I can't remember quite where this video cuts off because I feel like I don't finish this page with you, but we'll see how far we get. So I found that word American, so I'm definitely going to glue that on. I like that up at the top. I always have these visions of like including it as part of my journaling, which I do like to do sometimes. I'm just not incredibly good at it, and I feel like, I end up oftentimes just kind of gluing them on and then kind of journaling around them. So that's obviously what I do here. When I do the journaling, there is like a little arrow or something I put towards it, but it's like I could have put like, I am a proud American, you know what I mean? And like used that in my actual sentence structure. And I just, like I said, I want to do that more and I tend not to do it. So there's a little tire cut out. I don't know what I'm doing or why I didn't cut this part out. Sorry, there was a little stall there. That little word tires. And oh, yeah, I can't finish this page necessarily because I can see I have a note here that we're missing a photo, and this is what, so I get another photo that I've printed like a quote, and I'm just going to draw around it because I know I want to save a spot here. And so there I'm putting photo of Rue because I forgot to print it before I did the page. And so I will save that spot for her, photo, and I will try to kind of work around it. So we'll see. That tire thing, so the day before you saw the little note that I called on tires. And then this is the day that like we dropped off dropped off the car to have the tires fixed, or installed, rotated, balanced, all the stuff, right? And it was actually, it was kind of like an annoying thing. So they didn't have any appointments forever. But the lady said, well, we always have like so many walk-in appointments every day. And I said, great. They aren't, I can't get to them with work. Like I leave before they open. I get home after they close. Like, anyway, well, that's not true. At the end of the day, I could go. But so I said, I can't drop it off in the morning. Like, could I drop it off at night and just leave it with you overnight? And you could do it the next day during one of those available walk-in appointments. And she was like, sure, we have people do that all the time. I was like, great. So my husband met me there. I drove home from work. He met me at the tire shop. And we're like, we'll pick it up tomorrow after work. I was going to drive our other car. And then we get home, I'm in my sweats, I'm doing my thing. And it's been like an hour. We got there at 5, they close at 6, and he called it like 6:30 or something. And he's like, hey man, we finished your car. I'm like, what? And, I'm like, really? I'm like, are you still open? Is there someone there? Like, he's like, yeah, we're still here. And if you want to come get it. So we hop in the car, we drive down there. It's like 20 minutes. And we get there and the manager's like, they're still working on your car. And I was like, they called. I wasn't expecting to pick it up till the next day. So I was like, what's happening? Like they called and said it was ready. He says, oh, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. All they did was rotate your tires. And I'm like, what? Like my tires needed replacing. I gave you all 4 tires. We brought in brand new tires. So yeah. Anyway, so I drove it home. I drove it to work the next day. I did the same thing the next night, dropped it off, and I stayed there because they said they had an opening. So the next night they actually installed the new tire. It was crazy. Anyway, silliness. So I'm actually doing the journaling with you on camera here, and it just says like it's Patriot Day, kind of what I said. You can see that little arrow and it just says it is a day we, and I drew a little tiny arrow to the honor and reflect. So again, I'd like to get better about using actual words in my writing, include it actually into the writing. But I'm just outlining that page there with a little yellow. So I'm actually not gonna, I don't think, yeah, no, I'm not going to finish this page with the tires and the picture because, yeah, I didn't have it. So drawing a little bit of rain for the day. I'm here for it, friends. I'm here for it. It's cooling down and it's great. Our days recently have been perfect. Like 50 in the morning, a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of whatever, and then warming up to 70. Oh, it's perfect. So got a little bit of rain there, a little bit of doodling down the other page. I did get that little phone out, but we'll see if that makes the page or not in this video. It may not. But that's what I did. You can see there. Oh, do you see on that note? I don't know if you can see it, right? I moved it. I was thinking as we were talking about not having things to journal, right? Going back to that topic, there is a little note. There's a little note on that little note in the bottom right, and it's kind of circled. And it says, cry over shoe. And so these are the kind of like things that pop into my brain throughout the day. And so I made a note of it and then I put it on see, cry over shoe. Yeah. Again, on days you don't have anything to journal, or if you do want to journal certain things, that was a memory that popped up. I took off my shoes and I can't remember if I took a picture of it or not, but I took off my shoes, and the markings on the bottom of my shoe, like how I wear my shoe, how I walk in my shoe, the treads on the bottom of my dress shoes that I wear to work are the same as my dad's. And we've known that forever. Like, it's just very interesting that I turn my left foot the exact same way that he turned his left foot. And it wears my shoe the same way. And so I started crying when I took off my shoe. And so that's grief, right? That's grief. I've always spoken to my dad about those things that we had in common. Like I have things similar with my hand reach and position of my fingers and things. It's very interesting, and I always took pride in that. And we have the same blood type, like all of those things. And so, the fact that we walk the same, I just always kind of thought was interesting and giggled at, and we always like took note of it. Anyway, so I have that little note there. I don't know if I'll choose to actually write that, or if it will go into another journal that I have for like memory stuff. So we'll see. But anyway, just another idea on things you could journal is like if you had a memory that day. So, all right, we moved on to the next page. This is the 12th. And again, there's my little sticky note. We have some coffee. It was drizzling. It is a walkie-talkie day again. You're going to see that as a theme in my life right now. It is Thursday. There is football. So I'm trying to use those football stickers. And it's football season, friends. There is literally football like almost every night, and it's on in our house almost every single night. So we'll be using that. And I have that beautiful journal page over to the left from Pam. And I'm using it to note that I got a new planner that day. So I have a planner video coming out. I actually have 2 planner videos coming out talking about my choices for 2024. And, it's pretty much like the rest of my life. It's a hot mess, but that's what I'm going to kind of use that note to journal about. So I'm putting some cameras. Oh, I put some cameras on the page, the current page, and now I'm going back. And if I filmed on that day, I'm adding some cameras to those pages because we want to use the washi as why, right? So there's some coffee going down because it was a coffee morning for sure. And again, I could choose 1 coffee cup. That would be completely fine. But the 4 I kind of like. I like the colors. I think they tie in well to the other side. And I'm flipping back to a page I made on the 9th. I think I filmed that hot mess with you. But I found a pen, and I wanted to note on there that I was watching this lettering video. And so I cut out the red pen, but then I realized that same one has a, I don't know, green, teal, whatever pen. And that one goes much better with that page. And so I'm going to pop it in there. And use that to kind of note the lettering video when I do the journaling. Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, how stinking cute. I'm loving using my stash. That's what it is. I can tell you, because this is future Allison speaking, that Rooster and Book get moved to the 12th, the day we're working on, but I don't know this at that time. So the Rooster, yeah. So I'm prepping for the next day, and I'm leaving my stuff there. And that's a journal session. Thanks for being here, friends. And I hope you find something today that inspires you.